The odds of a major earthquake in the Bay Area are about 3 out of 4. We can't be sure exactly where that earthquake will happen, but we have pretty good odds in the next 30 years we'll be experiencing a large earthquake. Secure the things that might fly through the air or fall down and try to do something to make sure that doesn't happen. The things that we should have in our emergency kit should keep us going for at least 3 days. Food and water, your medicines, radios, batteries, blankets, extra clothes, raincoats, sleeping bags, tents, tools that would allow you to open up doors that are jammed after the earthquake, dust masks, gloves. You should be prepared to turn off your gas if you smell gas leaking or if you hear gas leaking behind the wall. Do things around your house so that you won't have to leave your house. If you have to evacuate and go to a shelter or to a friend's house or something or a hotel, you won't have those resources with you. We can take training and we can learn to put out small fires and we can learn to do search and rescue in buildings. We can learn to give first aid and to comfort people. And we can not only take care of our own families, but our neighbors and Millbrae as a whole. I think that will do a lot towards reducing the impact. First of all, make sure that you're not injured by the earthquake. We should learn how to drop, cover, and hold on. When we drop, we get down to the floor before the earthquake pushes us down. Find something that will give us some cover from the things that are falling and flying around the room, and we hold on to that. The furniture that we hold on to will likely move around the room, so we have to hold on to it to keep that cover from things falling down on top of us. What we should make sure that we have in an emergency plan is a way to contact our loved ones and our family. It will be very difficult to call after a large earthquake. Texting will be better than calling. Contact somebody out of the state or out of the affected area. A call within an affected area has 2 hops. You're calling and receiving. If you just try to call out somewhere that's not affected, you're more likely to get through that way. How you will reconnect with your family is a major part of a plan. Have some places that you will try to rendezvous at depending on the level of damage. In the very old days when California was first settled in and adobe buildings were made, and there would be wood framing around the doorways and windows. But in modern construction, the doorway is no safer than any other part of the structure. We don't tell people to stand in doorways anymore. It's better to get underneath a big piece of furniture and try to stay there and so that things don't hit you. Now, having said that, it's not like you have a lot of time to decide where you're going to go. So think about those things ahead of time, because during a big earthquake, you're not going to have much time to think about it. If you don't know that you have a problem with your gas, you should leave it on. And it will take PG&E a long time to come to each house and turn your gas back on. After the Loma Prieta earthquake, that took about 3 weeks. So 3 weeks is a long time to go without a hot shower. So if you don't know that you have a problem with your gas, you should leave it on, because you're going to want to have your gas to cook with or to heat your hot water. We're just so close to the San Andreas Fault in Millbrae that the shaking will be very strong. East of the Bayshore Freeway used to be all bay before the gold rush. And so a lot of that's been made land created, turned into landfill. That tends to shake harder because the soils there are much softer. Be mindful that it might shake more near the bay. We might see a little liquefaction. On the hillsides, we might see some landslides formed by the earthquake, caused by the earthquake. learn how to help your neighbor, because after the earthquake in Millbrae, our fire department, our police department, our first responders are all going to be very, very busy, and they're going to have many more things to do than they can possibly get to. So we need to become the first responders to the earthquake and to help our families and our neighbors. And I really, anything we can do to prepare for that will help us during the earthquake.